So for today's Windows on Wednesday, we're going to need this 2006 MacBook. And now that half of you have checked out, let me explain why. So someone recently released this customized version of Windows XP, called it Windows XP without Internet Explorer. Now, there's an asterisk there because it's not 100% removed, but it is mostly removed. And the way they did that is by substituting in certain libraries and files from Windows NT 4.0. Anyways, I'll have a link below to the archive.org page for it so you can read for yourself. But for those that aren't familiar, back, I think it was during Internet Explorer 4's release, that Microsoft enabled a feature called Active Desktop, which integrated Windows Explorer and Internet Explorer and basically combined them into one. It was able for Windows 95, Windows 98, and Windows NT 4. I don't remember what service pack needed for that, but that was an option. And at the time, it was kind of a neat premise because you could have what they called, again, Active Desktop, which gave you the ability to set a web page as your wallpaper. And, you log on your computer in the morning and there's Yahoo News or whatever you were using at the time. So got a little bit more controversial as time went on because now Internet Explorer is ingrained into the operating system, making users less likely to choose an alternate web browser. So they got a lot of scrutiny from world governments and everything, but ultimately it stuck because it was integrated, I think, up until Windows 8 maybe is when they started to remove it finally. Definitely, I'm pretty sure it's no longer integrated in Windows 10 and 11 because they've switched over to Microsoft Edge now, and as far as I know, they haven't integrated that yet. So I'm using this 2006 MacBook because it's period appropriate. It's probably on the higher end of what I would normally use, but I don't have any system builds that are available right now, like an Athlon or a Pentium 3, Pentium 4 build system right now, and I don't really want to put one together just for this little project, so I figured we'll use this. I did upgrade this to Leopard so that I could make use of Boot Camp. I know there was a version of Boot Camp, a beta of it for Tiger, but I wanted it to be as reliable as possible. So this is patched up to 10.5.8. It's got Boot Camp, and in fact, I believe we should be ready to go. I'm gonna dim the lights a little bit to make the screen a little bit easier to see. Now, I did run into an issue with the optical drive again, and now I know I did a March-Intosh video where I took this apart, gave it a cleaning, and fixed the plastic bezel that was kind of blocking the tray, but or I should say the slide in this case. But when I was trying to do the install of 10.5, it had trouble reading the disk for whatever reason. I was able to use an external CD-ROM drive, so hopefully we don't have to go that route, but if we do, I have that option as long as it works with Boot Camp. So went ahead and I downloaded the ISO, got it burned. Let's install the disk. And also, I think I'm going to plug in the power adapter because I want to make sure that I don't lose any battery during install. Let's see if it's trying to read. It's like it's spinning up and it spins down, spins up. So we may have to grab the external drive. I hope not, but let's see. Yeah, it just spit the disk back out, so I'm going to grab the external drive. Give me a second. Got this external LG drive, glossy white finish, so it kind of works with the white MacBook. And there it is, perfect. So let's go ahead and we'll start the installation. Fingers crossed. So I tried to read from the internal drive. I hear the external one spinning up though. Let's see what happens. Now, I don't know how much of this was customized, like is the installer also customized? It may not work on this MacBook, and either A, this video is dead, or B, I'm going to have to put together a system build just to make sure it works. So, or I can always test it in a virtual machine, we'll see. The screen does keep, like, I don't want to say flickering, but it flashes every so often. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. And again, like I said, it's basically a fresh install of Leopard, fully patched, and a fresh install of Boot Camp, so maybe there's some things that have to happen in the background. I don't remember. I no longer hear the drive spinning, though. It's been like this for about a minute, and still nothing. So I ejected the disk. Definitely wasn't spinning, but nothing else is happening. Let me try and starting it back into the internal drive, maybe. Oh, we got that folder icon. The question on it. Just trying to read the disk. It's also possible that the CD needs to be reburned. Maybe it just isn't readable. Although macOS seemed to be able to mount it. Try the external again. Spinning. Attempting to read. I'm gonna go burn a new copy. Alright, got a new disk burned. Let's see what happens. Now I can hear the disk spinning, but I don't see anything booting at all. Oh, screen dimmed a little, disk stopped spinning. Nothing's happening. Question mark folder came back up again. Interesting. So it stopped reading again. I decided to try the disk once more in the internal drive, and it seems to be reading. I can hear it spinning. I just don't know if the MacBook itself is doing anything or not. So this may not work on here. We may need to come up with a plan B. Or by we, I mean me. So okay, we're going with plan B. I forgot that I had this old netbook from Dell here. It's a Latitude 2100. Originally came installed with Vista Basic, but almost everyone downgraded back to XP in the business world, and in many cases the consumer world. So battery's totally dead, so I got to plug into a charger. I did go through already configure the BIOS so that we can try to boot from USB. Let's see what happens. Oh good, it still works. I hear CD spinning. Yes. So far, no different than standard XP install. Hopefully I won't need to load any custom drivers or anything. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think the hard drive on here already has XP installed. I was using it for something many years ago, way before I even started this channel. And then I just forgot that I had it in the closet, so we'll go ahead and we'll skip to the next part so we don't have to watch all this loading here. And apparently there's no hard drive in here, which is strange because the BIOS setup detected one. So apparently if there's no disk and you attempt to delete the partition, this is what happens. It's also possible that there's just something wrong with this device here. And this is starting to feel like a Michael MJD video. Let me see if I have a drive in there installed, and if not, maybe I've got one laying around somewhere. Are these captive screws? No, they're not. So it looks like the rubber started deteriorating a little bit or picked up some dust or something. There's a hard drive in there. Maybe it's just not working anymore. Oh, and apparently I can put more RAM in here. How much would I bet that battery's dead? Oh, it's a SATA drive at least. Let me throw another SATA disk in here, and if I can find another stick of memory, I'll throw that in there as well too, because I think there's only 512 in here, maybe a gig, I don't remember. But let's give this version of XP the best chance it can. Alright, that's set. I put another stick of RAM in there, another gig. I also replaced the battery. Alright, we'll go through all these things. You know, I'm just thinking now, it's possible the reason I didn't see the hard drives because I didn't have it set correctly. It might have been set to AHCI and not ATA, or vice versa. So, yeah, maybe that's the problem, but that's fine because going with a SSD is going to help performance out a little bit, as well as wear and tear and all that fun stuff. So let me get this configured and we'll try again. I did verify there's 2 gigs of RAM in there now, so that's a good sign. And we'll skip ahead to the hard drive partitioning part of setup. Alright, unpartitioned space. Let's go ahead and we're going to do quick. So far setup seems to be the same. So I'll go ahead and I'll skip ahead. If anything is different, we'll catch back up with it. So, alright, setup has restarted. So far, this seems normal. I don't remember if there's a date on there or not, a year, but I don't think anything's different there. So far, this looks the same too. So, again, if there's anything different, we'll come back. Otherwise, we'll skip straight to the out-of-box experience. All right, setup is done. Let's move on to out-of-box experience. Again, nothing seems different. Now, I did have to put a product key in, a volume license key to be specific, and I do have some left over from back when I was subscribed to TechNet. For anyone that remembers that service through Microsoft, I did not put a password in. Clearly no drivers are installed because, well, a dead pixel there. No actual out-of-box experience where you set up user accounts or any of your other settings or anything, so that's interesting. But let me go ahead and get drivers installed. Maybe that'll trigger something. Another odd thing is it thinks that the hard drive is removable. No, not ready. That's interesting. So the E drive is the actual OS volume. That doesn't make any sense. But we'll go with it. Alright, driver should be installed. Everything except for the network card. I don't really care about that, because we're not connecting this to the internet, that's for sure. And so we've got video support. Sound does work, because I just heard the startup sound. I didn't quite record it for some reason. But as you can see, by default, there's no theme installed, and that is by design, because apparently theming is completely broken in here. So they have something called modified theme. We've got Windows Classic theme, which I'm assuming is basically the same thing. More themes online, that's interesting. We're not going online though, like I said. We're not going to browse for a theme because there are none installed. So we're stuck with this here. Now that's fine, I actually don't care. It's going to help performance out anyway. What have we got here? Oh, that's not very. What about? Guess that's the that's there. I don't remember if that was there in the original version or not, but good enough though. Let's look at appearance. So same basic options. What about screensavers? We do have screensavers installed. So that's a good sign. We're going to go with Mystify Your Mind because I like that one. And that's about it in terms of themes. Yeah, so that's not there. And again, like I said, according to the author, who's going by the name Aurorarion, Aurorarion. Yeah, no Luna theme as it makes the interface cursed. There's no personalized settings either. It starts like a Windows 95 install. Have removed programs is reused from Windows ME, but with XP icons. For unused sounds such as Windows Log On, Windows Log Off, information bar, and pop-up blocked are removed due to NT 4.0 Explorer and the lack of Internet Explorer integration. Yeah, so this is a very customized version with system files. I mean, even that looks different than stock XP. You've even got these program groups that are, what are these? These are the current user program groups, and these I believe are the, or maybe the other way around. I think these are the global installed apps and things like that, and these here are your custom ones per profile. So as you can see, that is inherited from Windows NT 4. Now, it doesn't seem to make mention if this is customized here or if this is part of the operating system. But yeah, looks like there's some files that were left over. URL.dll, URLmon.dll, and wininet.dll are still there, but they are not currently registered. So for all intents and purposes, this should behave like Windows 95 or Windows NT 4. Let's look at some other options here. Show clock. There is, the system tray is there, but there was no icon there when I had the thumb drive plugged in. And I don't think that that's available in NT. So looks like we can customize a start menu. So there's that. Well, that doesn't matter. Let's see what we've got. Let's see what control panel looks like. Okay, so stock control panel. This wasn't that different from XP once you had all the fancy effects turned off. Display, we already know that opened up. Windows Firewall is in here. You do also have the Security Center, which is another Windows XP edition. Game controllers, time and date, user accounts. Now this again was supposed to be from Vista, if I remember reading correctly. Let's see here. Yeah, the net plwiz.exe file from Windows Vista build 5384, which is beta 2, is included for end user MGR CPL replacement. Oh, that's for the network user replacement. And also it looks like the end user mgr.cpl from Windows XP uses themes, so it wouldn't have worked correctly anyway. So I'm wondering if that's what they mean here. Is it this? No, that's standard. Looks like that's, maybe it's this wizard from Vista. I'm not sure. That's probably what they mean though. No, we don't have to worry about that because again, we're not connecting this to the internet at all or any networking because I do not want to run any risks here. First of all, this is Windows XP, and even though this should be patched all the way up to 2019 using the Windows XP Point of Sale edition, which was supported, I think, through 2019, that's still old. And there are a lot of vulnerabilities out there that I'm sure if I connected this to the internet, it'd be infected within minutes. Not to mention, this is, again, a customized version of XP, and while I have no reason not to trust the creator of this, at the same time, you gotta be cautious. So let's see, under mouse, what do we got here? No, I do not want to do that. So apparently the touchpad drivers didn't install correctly, which, whatever. I just want to see, do we have different pointers? Yep, we do have various different pointers, although I don't, oh no, we've got conductor, dinosaur, hands 1 and 2, so we've got some custom cursors there, so at least we've got that to look forward to. Power options doesn't matter because that's just power options, so and it's set for laptop because that's what this is. We go to Security Center. I wonder if it's going to even pop up. It does. No virus protection because, yeah, I don't have any installed. And I think anything else, I mean, if we go to System here, Look at hardware, device manager. That's going to be just device manager there. Like I said, I didn't install the network adapter drivers because it doesn't matter. I do have the Wi-Fi drivers installed. Some of the way Dell labels their drivers is usually random. At least to me, it's random. It's like a letter and some random numbers. So I accidentally installed it. But everything else, as you can see, is there. Let's see. Anything else different here? Performance settings, user profile settings, startup and recovery, automatic updates, remote assistance, which we will not be needing, or remote desktop for that matter. Let's see if add remove programs looks different. No, that kind of looks the same too. We can add Windows components. We won't worry about that. Keyboard, that looks like it's straight from XP. So those are the differences there. And by default, it looks like all of the games are installed. Free Cell Hearts, Minesweeper, Pinball Solitaire, and Spider Solitaire. Nothing's in the startup folder. Admin tools, basic stuff there. Accessories, again, basic stuff there. Let's see, Paint. Paint is the XP version of Paint. So it doesn't look like there's really too much different here. What I do want to see though, actually let me do this here, because there was note of, so if you open up my computer, it opens up similar to Windows NT 4 does, without any, panes or anything like that. Let's see if it opens up a new window when you open up an object by default, as opposed to XP where they changed it so that it opens up in the same window. And I do remember this as a behavior of Windows 95 and Windows NT. But on a check here is about Windows, and yeah, Windows NT 5.1, which is what Windows XP is. Storage Pack 3, 2 gigs of RAM, everything else here. So that looks accurate. But I want to check one other thing, and that is command prompt, still Windows XP. And then that still shows that. So it does recognize it as Windows XP version 5.1. Wasn't sure if it was going to report, Windows NT 4.0 or anything like that, since it is using some of the system files from there. Or if it was going to even report, Windows NT 6.0, because it has some Vista files loaded up in there as well. So overall, I mean, the operating system itself, other than, visual enhancements and things like that, it's pretty much Windows XP. There's no address bar even, if you notice here. Let me see if there's a way to bring that back or not. Bring the toolbar. So looks like we've got the toolbar there. It's using XP icons. I don't remember if that was enabled in XP by default or not, or if you're going to turn on the toolbar. It's been a while since I used XP. These options here, show all files, hide system files, that's fine. Doesn't look like there's an option to bring up an address bar, so yeah, this definitely seems to have most of IE removed from it. And I don't even think I saw Windows XP or Windows Internet Explorer installed at all. It is not. Computer management looks the same, although this really hasn't changed. I think even in modern Windows 10, Windows 11, this MMC control is still available. Yeah, so what I want to do though is let's install some software. We're not going to go crazy. I just want to see if I got to see if I have any software that needs XP or newer. I just want to see if it detects it as Windows XP, or if it for some reason detects it as NT4 and we have any issues. So let me go find something that should be XP or newer. Alright, so I managed to find a copy of Norton Ghost for XP and 2000 only. So we'll see if it lets me install it or not. I don't know if I've ever even used this before. Will autoplay work? I don't believe autoplay was available in NT4. I could be wrong, but then again, it's Windows XP, so it's also possible that, yep, that comes right up. Let's go ahead and install and see if it gives me any trouble. So far, so good. Hasn't asked me for a product key, so I'm assuming that happens after the fact, and we're not going to worry about that because I'm not going to register it or activate it or anything. But it looks like it's installing. I don't think it cares that this is a modified version of Windows XP. I do have one other piece of software that I was able to find that should only work with XP and newer, and that is a game called Dreamfall. And it also includes a copy of the original game, Longest Journey, because this Dreamfall is a sequel to Longest Journey. And this requires Windows XP and newer. It does require a Pentium 4 or an AMD Sempron. This is using an Intel Atom, although I think this Atom is based off of the Core series, like Core 2 Duo and all that. There is no video accelerator card in here. It says it's required, so it might not let me install it. But we're going to try anyway, because why not? Nah, I don't care. There's a good chance it wouldn't have passed validation anyway. We don't want to see the README file. It says we got to reboot, so let me reboot and we'll be back. I suppose I should also show the shutdown screen. It's not the XP style shutdown screen, it is the 95 NT style shutdown screen, so that's also different. And that's not good. I think that has to do with the audio. Audio obviously works, we just heard it. We got Norton Ghost trying to load up now. So there is a little system track on there. Able to connect to Agent, probably because of the fact that it just started, and also I don't have a Ghost server set up anywhere. I was just curious to see if it would work. And hard drive LED is flashing, so it's doing something in the background there. But Ghost doesn't seem to be happy, probably because this is a butchered copy of Windows XP running on an Intel Atom. Try this again. Well, the fan just kicked in on this thing for the first time, at least as far as I was paying attention. So yeah, so Ghost isn't happy, but it installed, so it didn't care about that. Let's try Dreamfall, and I again suspect that probably will not install because it doesn't have a dedicated graphics card. But we'll see. I suppose if it does holler about it lacking a graphics card, it does other compatibility checks too, and maybe it'll say something about it not truly being XP if it can detect that or not. DirectX setup. 9C. I don't know if that was compatible with Windows NT4, so we'll let this install, and if anything comes up, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, we'll continue on. And we're finally done installing. That took quite a bit of time. Glad I didn't record the whole process. Let's see if it runs. Just curious. I mean, let me install. They didn't complain about not having a graphics card there, so I'm hoping that it doesn't do a check now. But we'll see. Interesting is that the icon changed to an actual CD, and the cursor, I should say, changed. And then I direct 3D boarding. Yep, that's into that. But it didn't complain that it wasn't running on Windows XP, so kind of success there. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this video. I mean, we're not going to waste any more time doing this. We're going to go ahead and just wrap it up, I guess. Okay, so future cause here. Of course, as I'm editing here, I found out that there's a version 1.1 of this install. Now, I'm not going to interject that into this video or anything like that. If you guys want me to do a follow-up where I test out 1.1 and see if there's any differences, Nothing was listed in the archive.org page, so I'm not sure if anything is different. But if you guys want me to do a follow-up, let me know. So yeah, so that's it for this video here. What did you guys think? I wanted to make this video because I haven't seen any videos about this yet. I didn't really search hard or anything like that, though, to be honest. But I figured one of the YouTubers that I follow would have done something like this by now, Michael MJD or Action Rapture or one of those guys, but they haven't, so maybe they don't know about this. So I'm going to go ahead and release this video, and I'm going to try to share it and get some interest, and hopefully some of these bigger guys can do a more in-depth install of this. Maybe we can watch them fumble through the install as well too. So, but yeah, what you guys think? Leave some comments below. Did you guys mess around with any custom versions of Windows XP back in the day? I know there's a few of them out there. There's one that I messed around with. It was called Super WinPE. PE is for pre-installation environment. So there was one of those released. There was another like a X-in-1 DVD with various different versions of Windows XP, Home, Pro, Media Center Edition, things like that. So I did mess around with a few of them. So if you guys mess around with any of them, let me know below. Otherwise, thanks all. Catch you later.